Hello everybody and welcome back to Expert Examiner IELTS. My name is Glyn and in this video I'm going to do some writing feedback. It's been quite some time since I've done some writing feedback. We have an IELTS academic essay writing task 2. We start as always by reading the question, making sure that we understand the question, making sure that we understand what we need to do in the task, and by thinking a little bit about structure. So let's have a look at this question then. What are we dealing with here? Let's get my pen. Okay. So in many countries, not in all countries, but in many countries, primary and secondary schools, so primary is like elementary school, secondary is like high school, primary and secondary schools close for 2 months or more in the summer holidays. Okay, so this is our anchor, this is our statement of fact that in many countries during the summer, many schools, or just schools in general, close for 2 months or more, right? So you have a long summer holiday. 2 questions here. What is the value of long school holidays? Why is it a good thing? What is good about these schools closing for 2 months or more? And secondly, what are the arguments in favor of shorter school holidays? So why might it be a good idea to have shorter school holidays? So those are the 2 things that you need to do. Cool, easy to structure this. Our introduction will give some background information about the subject, which is school, education, and school holidays. Something like school holidays are considered to be important for children all over the world, and as a result, many schools have long summer holidays for 2 and sometimes more months, right? Something like that. Then we want some reference to the question or some thesis statement saying what we're going to talk about. So in this essay, I will discuss, the benefits of having school holidays and also point out why some people believe that school holidays should be shorter, or something like that. Just saying what you're going to talk about in the essay. You don't need to give your reasons why. I know sometimes people like to go into detail a bit too fast, but for me, you don't need to give your reasons why in your introduction. You're not asked here to take any position, so we don't need to say what our opinion is in the introduction for sure. Then our body paragraph 1 will be the answer to this question, the good things about school holidays. Body paragraph 2 will be the answer to this question, why do some people think it's better to have shorter school holidays? In the conclusion, you will put a brief summary of your main ideas. And here you may, in the conclusion, you may want to give your opinion about whether you think longer school holidays or shorter school holidays are better. You are allowed to do that. You absolutely don't need to. You could make some other type of comment, but I think, it's suitable if you're talking about 2 different arguments. In the conclusion, it's reasonable to put your own opinion. But okay, let's see if that's what we get from the candidate. Just looking at the balance, 4 paragraphs. Cool, that's good. We like 4 paragraphs. Yeah, that's visible now, I guess. Yeah. The 4 paragraphs and the body paragraphs are longer than the introduction and the conclusion. That's good. Body paragraph 1 is a little, well, it's substantially longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 lines versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's a little longer. It's okay, not a big problem. But we want to make sure that we're addressing both questions roughly equally, because we know in the band descriptors we see, sorry, that says overall 6. That's from the previous task, not from this one. So we don't want to write too much about one question and not enough about the other, because in the band descriptors we see here in band 6, the main parts of the prompt are addressed, though some may be more fully covered than others. So we don't want to give an examiner, that problem in their head where they think, well, the one body paragraph was longer than the other. In this case, I don't think it's so much longer, so we don't need to worry too much about it. But let's get into the good stuff. Let's see what the candidate has written. Let's look for, let's get the red pen out and feel brutal today. Okay. In today's world, closing primary and secondary schools for 2 months or more has become increasingly prevalent. There's nothing in this about, that it's a current trend. And so has become increasingly prevalent means that it's growing, and there's nothing from that anchor that suggests that this is a new trend, and it just looks like memorized language in today's world has become increasingly prevalent. So this is very easy to spot when it's memorized language. It's memorized language. I don't like memorized language. It doesn't make sense to say it's increasingly prevalent. You've invented that, right? I don't but anyway, okay. And also, we want to mention in summer, that's important here because we're talking about the summer holidays. Okay, while there are many merits associated with long school holidays, long summer holidays is really what we're looking for, but okay, shorter ones also offer several benefits, both of which will be elaborated in this essay. Okay. Both of which talks about benefits and merits, but I don't know how tightly cohesive that is. Both of which, because both of which could talk about the benefits, right? Both benefits. So both of which, I understand what you mean. You mean the merits and the merits of long holidays and the benefits of short holidays, but I don't know if both of which is fully cohesive, but I can work it out. So, okay, the introduction looks a little bit memorized. It looks very templatey. Let's get on to the body paragraph, see what the candidate has. On the one hand, cool, the positive aspect of long school holidays are significant. This is not a good topic sentence. In the first sentence of your paragraph, I want you to tell me one reason why long school holidays are important, right? We know they have value. You're asked to say what the value of long school holidays are. Start your paragraph with something like, one benefit of long school holidays is, and then explain why it's valuable. So this is a complete waste of a sentence, and we don't want to waste our topic sentence. Chief among these, very nice, is the time for resting. Okay, so we finally got there. In our second sentence, we learn that time for resting is a significant benefit or a significant positive aspect. After studying hard in school for an extended period, learners can take advantage of the summer holiday to relax and recover, which potentially fosters creativity. I hate this word fosters. I see it used by ChatGPT all the time, but it's okay. Because I hate a word doesn't mean that I will mark you down. Which potentially fosters creativity and mental well-being of students. So the argumentation feels a little bit simplistic. Maybe, to relax and recover, fine. That's I understand. You have a holiday to relax and recover, but then fostering creativity and mental well-being, don't think you've made any arguments to support that. So a little bit underdeveloped there. Moreover, the benefits from social activities should not be overlooked. Why are we talking about the benefits from social activities? That's not part of the question. Thanks to the availability of time in summer holidays, students can take part in sports. Okay, but set it up better, right? Moreover, now that students have, or when students have free time in the summer, they are able to take part in more social activities. That would be clearer. Okay, so thanks to the availability of time in summer holidays, students can take part in sports, traveling, exploring hobbies, and doing volunteer work, all of which can broaden their horizons and help learners to become well-rounded individuals. Again, the language feels a little bit generic, but okay, we're on topic, we're clear enough, we're not, not overly informative, but the grammar is accurate, the vocab is fine, the argumentation is just slightly generic. Okay, on the other hand, it is reasonable. On the other hand, let's just zoom a bit more. Okay. On the other hand, it is reasonable why some people prefer a shorter school holiday. So again, your topic sentence is wasted. One argument against long school holidays, or one argument in favor of shorter school holidays, is blah, 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 blah. Get your main ideas in early. I don't need you to tell me that some people prefer a shorter school holiday. We've seen that in the question and we've seen that in the introduction. So don't waste your topic sentence. One of the most frequently cited upsides, okay, is the study momentum. I have no idea what. I kind of can work it out, is the study momentum. Okay, unlike longer school holidays, in which students are likely to forget what they have learnt and find it hard to keep track of subjects that require too much. It's too much. This is a sentence. There's so much embedding. Unlike longer school holidays, in which students are likely to forget what they have learned and find it hard to keep track of subjects that require a frequent review, like math or languages, shorter breaks give students more consistent exposure to academic content. This is incredibly difficult to read. I know you're looking for complexity using long sentences. It can't be that difficult to read. So that will, unfortunately, cost you a little bit. This may lead to a healthy habit of studying, ultimately enhancing the academic performance. So again, the argumentation is very generic, very basic, not very persuasive. Yeah. Okay. In conclusion, both long and short school holidays have distinct advantages. Cool. While long breaks support personal growth and recovery, shorter ones help preserve academic continuity. I like that. I really like your conclusion. The decision over which approach to adopt should depend on each country's educational priorities and context. Cool. We have a little reflective comment at the end. Your conclusion is lovely. You have a lovely conclusion. Your introduction, so let's just give a quick overview. Your introduction is very templatey. And the template doesn't really work for this question. The body paragraphs are on topic. You make an attempt to develop and explain them. However, the argumentation is a little weak and body paragraph 2 is very difficult to read. Your conclusion is lovely. You sum up your main points and you leave a nice reflective comment at the end. So bravo on the conclusion. So what marks does this piece of writing deserve? Let's look at task response. So I think we can rule out the 7, and I think we can rule out that 7 because main ideas are extended and supported. Oh, but maybe a tendency to overgeneralize, maybe a lack of focus. Let's look at 6. Main parts of the prompt are addressed, though some may be more fully covered than others. That might be true because we had 2 arguments in favor of long holidays and we only had 1 argument in favor of shorter holidays. So one part is more addressed than the other. The position is, well, there's no need for a position here, so we don't need a position. Conclusions drawn may be unclear. Yeah, main ideas are relevant but insufficiently developed. Maybe I can say the ideas are insufficiently developed. Maybe I can say they rely on overgeneralization. But with that some may be more fully covered than others, I think 6 is probably the most appropriate score to give for task response there. Let's get to the next one for coherence and cohesion. Let's have a look at the 7 first of all. Information and ideas are logically organized. Yes, they are. Clear progression. Yes, there is. Few lapses may occur. A range of cohesive devices. We certainly do have that. Flexibly with some inaccuracies, that like both of which slightly inaccurate. Paragraphing is generally used. Yeah, I think we could award the 7 there. You can't get 8 because we want the message can be followed with ease, and certainly body paragraph 2 cannot be followed with ease. That was a very difficult paragraph to read. But I think in terms of the paragraphing, the organization, the cohesive devices, you probably do have enough for a 7 in there. So I'm going to go with 7 for, yeah, let's put these scores in as we go along. So task response, I'm going to go with 6. Coherence and cohesion, I'm going to go with 7. Lexical resource, some of it feels a little generic, but I do think there is maybe just about enough for the 7. Certainly a lot of good vocab in there, and there is also an awareness of style, of academic style. I didn't see any spelling errors, no huge problems with inappropriate word choices. For me, not enough for the 8 because some of the language just feels a little bit generic. But lexical resource 7. Now, grammatical range and accuracy. This is a little bit higher because we have. Let's have a look. Really don't have any or many mistakes in there. Let's have a look. Do we have any mistakes? Okay, both of which, although for fluency, for coherence and cohesion, I wasn't sure of that, but both of which in terms of grammar is a very advanced structure. I might say that this complexity of grammar maybe is a bit over complex. Let's just check what the 9s and what the 8s say for grammar. So a wide range of structures is used with full flexibility and control. I don't know about full flexibility. But certainly a wide range of structures is flexibly and accurately used, yes. Majority of sentences are error-free. Punctuation is well managed, yes. Occasional non-systematic errors, yes. So certainly enough for the 8 in there. Not quite enough for the 9, maybe. Just in terms of flexibility, but not very, certainly not far away. But 6, 7, 7, 8, that would award this candidate an overall score of band 7 for this writing. Now, I don't know if this candidate has used ChatGPT maybe to help with their grammatical accuracy. I don't know. Because it's very rare to see work that doesn't have any mistake in there. So for me, yeah, the candidate knows, the 4-paragraph essay structure, cool. Candidate makes good use of lexical resource, but whenever I hear things like broaden their horizons and in today's world has become increasingly prevalent, just feels like it's memorized generic language. And when I see some language that is noticeably memorized and generic, I don't really want to award more than a 7, but it is, there is some skillful use of vocab, so certainly don't want to drop below the 7, and that grammatical accuracy is incredible, could even be a 9, but I'm more comfortable awarding it an 8. So what does the candidate need to work on? Like almost every other candidate I've had on this channel for writing, argumentation. What makes a good argument? How do we put forward an argument in the first sentence of our paragraph? And then how do we support that in a meaningful way? It's not easy. A lot of people lack these like academic skills, this skill of making an argument, of supporting it, of using examples and things like this. The candidate's response is on topic and the arguments are easy enough to understand. I'd also advise the candidate, if you're going to make 2 points in body paragraph 1, make 2 points in body paragraph 2 also, so that we have that balance there. But a decent attempt, C1, low C1 piece of writing, band 7.0. Decent attempt, but task response is a little bit weak. Yeah. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done one of those. Hopefully you found it instructive or useful. It is interesting to see just how almost every candidate has problems with task response. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to think about. So, if I was an IELTS candidate preparing for writing, and if I had a teacher, that's something I would go to my teacher with, saying like, okay, many people have a problem with this academic style and with this like making arguments. Can we work on this? Can we do something like, I don't know, critical thinking? Can we learn what it means to put forward a topic sentence? Can we do training on how to explain and support arguments, not just like practicing writing, but just learning how to put forward a proposition or a claim and how to back that up with evidence, with support, with examples, because that's a real weakness in many people's writing. Anyway, yeah, more videos coming from me soon. If you'd like me to check your writing, or if you'd like a free practice speaking test, I collect all of my candidates from either my Telegram channel or my Facebook group. This one was collected from my Facebook group. Yeah, links to both of those are given in the description. More videos from me coming soon, but for now, bye-bye.